They said hush your mouth, keep your head down low, drink your pain, pay your tax, do what you're told. But I was raised where the rainy streets teach you to stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah, from a small town pub to the city lights, I've seen deals in smoke-filled nights. Blue suits talking like they own this land, but they never had mud on their hands. They write the rules from a golden chair while we graft all day just to breathe their air. But there's a fire in this old isle, and I won't let them steal what's mine. I don't bend for the lies they sell. I won't dance to the Westminster bell. I'll sing truth for this tired old nation. No filter, no hesitation. Raise your voice, feel that liberation. This is the unfiltered nation. Yeah, this is the unfiltered nation. Yeah. We got farms, docks, mills still standing strong. Real folk here who've been right all along. They call us crazy when we say no more, but we carry this country shore to shore. So here's to the ones who won't back down, stealing their spine and are beaten downtown. If your heart still beats for this old home soil, then you're my people in this loyal coil. No more masks, no more stage duration, no more bought and paid for stations. If you're done with scripted conversation, step into the unfiltered nation. Take a seat, switch on, feel the elevation. Real talk, real grit, no fabrication. You've crossed the line, there's no more waiting. Welcome to the unfiltered nation. Yeah.
You see what's going to happen now is the left and all the mainstream medias, they are going to incorrectly call this hate speech. So they want to play that game with me. Okay, good. I'm going to play it because yes, I hate evil. I hate paedophiles. I hate cowards who trade girls for votes. I hate lies disguised as tolerance. I hate the wolves in the suits, and I hate the silence in power. And if you don't hate these two, then you're part of the problem. So this will be a righteous hate. It's what built empires, and it's what defends the innocents. And to those over there watching in Parliament in Westminster, let me remind you this. You knew, and you let it happen anyway. And now the people know too.
What's going on? What's going on? I have been unmuted apparently, so this should be quite an interesting one. Oi oi to Cockney Girl, Miss H. Yo, Danny, fix the title. What's the title on this one? Do you know what? Because it's going to be a bit different. Yeah, look at that. Thank you, H. Where would I be without you? Where would I be? Let me just double check this, make sure that my sound is coming through. Can you hear that? Yeah, it's coming through nice and clear. So I've got it on there. Right. Oi oi to Emma. Hope everyone is good. Now I was gonna do the title. Let's go to the title because I was gonna do that, but I think I'm gonna do a video instead. But I will briefly go through it because there's a lot of things that are going on at the moment I'm watching, that I'm looking at. One job, Danny. One job. That's it. That's it, Lynn. That's all I had is one job. And I blew the doors off. So, yeah, I've been looking at a lot of stuff recently, right? And I don't know, man. We're in a mad world, didn't we? Things ain't the same. I don't know. It might just be me. It might be time to tap out. I don't know, because things that you're seeing is not the things that are actual. And I don't know why, and I don't know who's doing it. I don't know these things. But what I do know is that we can't be fooled by it all. You know, we cannot be fooled, and we can't really say, um, this is what we're going to be living by. Let's just take the title so we can get it over and done with. And I will do a video that's going to be more intense, right? But we are told that ethno-nationalism now is racist. Well, it's always been the racists on one side. And then we're told, that people, they might be civic nationalists, or they might be like this, right? And even today, we'll go through that in a minute. Even today, it was proven that actually you can't even be sure. So I thought to myself, let me look into this. The only way you can look at it, Dan, why people are talking about it ever so much, let us just look into it. And I found out that if you want remigration, if you want any type of your culture and traditions and everything else, then I'm sorry, people, you might just have to be an ethno-nationalist. But it's not what you're being told. So the context, no, the description of ethno-nationalism, I've got it just up here. It is a form of nationalism where the nation is defined primarily by shared ethnicity, and that's including common ancestry, culture, language, and often religion. Now, we talk about today that we want Christianity to become, or to go back to being the predominant religion. We want to protect our language. We want to protect our culture. We want to learn about the ancestry, right? And obviously, the shared ethnicity. This is England. It's a white country. Why would a white country that has been, even that, people are going to be like, oh, Dan, man, you can't say that. You can't say that. Why would a white country want to, by force, be demographically replaced? I don't get that. See, I used to say as well, like, oh, do you know what? These people, I can't be an ethno-nationalist. But actually, if we look at it from the definition that's been there since 1800s, right? So the nation exists because a specific ethnicity group exists. Of course, England are here because a specific ethnicity group came about. It should represent, preserve, and prioritize that ethnic group. The key features, I've even got that. Look how deep I went into it. National identity is blood, heritage, and culture. The emphasis on cultural continuancy. What is it? Continuing. These big words here, man. I can't even read. Immigration and citizen often restrict to protect the core ethnic group. Who have we got? We have got someone subscribing. It's Breezy Markey. Congratulations and welcome to the Madhouse. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. It says, in contrast, the civic nationalism is a nation decided by shared laws, values, and citizenship. And I know that we are somebody in between, right? Because everyone wants a little bit of everything, right? So then I was like, all right, cool. Why is it then ethno-nationalists, if that's what people have to become one, right? Why they call it racist? And I found out that there's a new one that we're not being told about. There's a new one, and it's racial nationalism, right? Or racial nationalist, and that's a form of nationalism where the nation is defined by race, biological traits, rather than culture, history, or shared ethnicity. So the core ideas of this is the nation belongs to a racial group, regardless of the culture or nationality, and race is treated as the primarily and the factor that will define everything. It focuses on skin color and your genetic lineage and all of that. And they often, it says here, dismiss the culture, language, and religion over the biological race. Right? So, just by that, I'm thinking and I'm looking around and I say, well, actually, the people who are being told that are ethno-nationalists by the definitions, and I don't really go too much by definitions, but we've got to have a standpoint. So these people are racial nationalists. And then I remember back in the day when I'm looking at old Enoch Powell, and he used to always say, don't call me a racialist, right? And it's just the way that they talk back then, granted, but words closer to the origin are often less corrupted. So the word racist come out from racialist, but that actually wasn't used. So I would say racial nationalism was there. So why are you being told that you shouldn't be one way and then get re-immigration and then be told not even be told, be ignored about the actual thing? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It goes back as far as Max Weber, right? If you look at some of his work based upon ethnic grouping and things like that, you know, he wrote loads of stuff, and he was saying about this would be ethno-nationalism, right? So then the most important thing, let me just get it up here now, because you're going to say, oh, but you know what, Dan, there is no ethno-nationalist countries. And this is where the whole story came from, because there is. You've got Israel. Clearly that's a, you know, it puts Jewish peoplehood and nationhood first. It's got the law of return, and it's got the nation state law. You got Japan, ethnic Japanese continuity. They are very, very, very selective on neutralization. If you're not born Japanese and you're not part of the historical line of the Japanese, and I know it's not going too well now because they are going into negative, negative birth rates, but still, that is what they do. Armenia is another one. The Armenian people put their state identity first. Hungary, it's an ethno-cultural nation too. So it not only, as it's saying that, you know, Hungarians are first, and it's putting huge, it's putting laws and presence on the culture. You got Greece, you got Poland, you got Iceland, you got South Korea, you've got China, Vietnam, Thailand, Iran, Turkey. These people, these places are all classed as putting the indigenous people first. So we're told many of them are good. We are told many of them are the ones to be aspiring to. How many times have we heard recently, you know, if it wasn't for Israel, then Muslims would be controlling Europe. If it wasn't for Poland, Muslims would be doing would already been in Europe. If it wasn't for Hungary, then the invasion would be a lot better. But when it comes down to the UK people, and that's what I don't like. When it comes down to the English people, when they say, you know what, white English demographically replacement is a problem, and they instantly get called a racist. Nah, I'm not part of that. So I think people have to understand that if you are, if you want, like we all do, to control this country, we have got control of the language and not allow people to say that you are. Whoa! Who is this now? It is Cockney Girl has become a member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Memberships are very, very important around here because it's the only way that we can get out. And as I said, I think we've got about, I don't know, 12 to 15 people on the membership. It's going good. Do you know why? Because it's like-minded people, and we will be doing streams as well. Special. Actually, I am going to do one next week, a special one for you, right? Next week. I'm not going to tell you why, but it will be a very, very special one, right? So to go back to where we are, this is the I will go to the I can't even speak, mum. We will go back to the comments in a minute, but here we go. We're getting these in today. We are getting these in. Sharon 5678 has become a member. Thank you. Honestly, memberships, it's important. It is important. We will make it. We will get the Unfiltered Nation to become the nation, and we will put this nation on the map. I can promise you. Maybe we will be the first the first ethno-nationalist unfiltered YouTube nation. Right. So when people say we want to preserve our culture, actually, let me just go back to this little bit because I've written a couple of bits down. And let's go to the inconsistencies of this, right? This is going there. Lynn Chalmers 1462 has become a member. Welcome. Thank you. Lynn is a dedicated member around here anyway. She's one of the top G's. She is one of the top G's I can rely on. If she's doing 20 other live streams, I can jump on and I can know that the chat's okay, because Lynn, she will come across as well as doing the rest of them. Right. So the other bit that I went to with all of this, why it's such an issue? Why is it such an issue for the white English people to be able to say, actually, I think we do need to come down into these? Why is it being trying to be erased out? And it's trying to make you look the other way. It's like Christianity now. I see and hear a lot of Christian verses that people are saying that are incorrect, right? And it is tailored more towards another style of Christianity, right? And with the revival that we are getting and we are seeing, it's going to be incredible, because people are not going to be that knowledgeable about what they actually mean, right? We might go into that a bit later as well. So the Equality Act of 2010, it says that the actual act, it protects race, and that's defined as color, nationality, or ethnic and national origins, right? Obviously, ethnic and national in the UK's case has to be the UK, but it's not. No. They don't get any type of protection under this. It's applied to Sikh identity, Jewish identity, Roma identity, Black British identity, and then Scottish and Welsh identity. Predominantly, that's what is there to protect. And I know it's crazy that a law in England isn't protecting England, right? These people or these groupings, it's like, heritage based, and they think that is worthy of protection. But the white English identity is not worthy for protection for some reason. Maybe because it's the majority, and that's where it's easy to say to people, well, you're the majority, you're the ones who has to give things away, you're the one that has to give a bit of yourself away, a bit more nicer. Come on, it's like tax the rich. You lot are rich, you lot have all this money, why don't you just give more of your money away to things that you can't control? So if you say this, right, we want to preserve our culture, and this is what happened during Black Lives Matter, and this is why I think that the Black White Unite movement was so strong, because I could go on panels and I could say, hang on a minute, I want to preserve the white race, right? That's what I want to do. And they would just go crazy. It's just like you was going fishing every single day, right? It was easy. They'd tap on it. And then you'd be like, well, don't you want to preserve your black culture? And they'd be like, yeah, of course, Dan. And I'd be like, what? What's wrong with you then? I've said exactly the same thing. Oh, yeah, but you're the majority. You know, white people are the majority. So that's a cultural anxiety. Or if you say we want our community to remain respectable or recognizable, right? To the minorities, that's self-determination. That's all right. Yeah, you can do that. You're the minority, you can do that. If it's the majority, right, that's called like demographic fear. You can't say about demographic replacement. Oh, but the minorities can. You know, the minorities are saying, "Oh, all of this is anti-colonial, right? We oppose mass migration because it's changing us, and it's all anti-colonial. That's why." But if you're a white person, you're xenophobic, and if you say the worst words of it all, that we want our country back, right? They call that a nationalist myth. But to a minority, if you was in a minority country, they would call that indigenous rights. Look at the Chagos Islands. Oh no, that's indigenous rights. We have to give the country back to them. They're only a small population. It's always there. It's absolutely crazy, right? And that's the conversations that I want to have. That's the conversations about ethno-nationalism that I want to have, because I could probably and very easily change the whole framing of it, because it's not based upon any type of. If you go to Max Weber, should we go to Max Weber? Max Weber, ethno-nationalism, right? I don't know if you see it. View the Nation. Here we go. Right. Can we show that? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Let's view the nation not as a primary ethnic identity, but suggested community of sentiment that. Right. Let's just, I don't really. Do you know some of these as well? I've got to read it a couple of times, and I've got to say, oh yeah, that's probably the right one. So Max Weber. This is the one. Is that the one? I think that's the one. Can you all see that? No, you can't. Now you can. So we've got an AI overview here. Don't you hate it when you go into Google, right? And yep, my thing's there. When you go into Google and it says AI overview, like this is how they change. This is how I change it, right? Let's do this. Let's do this. So Max Weber viewed the nation not as a prime ordinal ethnic entity, but as a subjective community of sentiment that aspires its own state, largely driven by the prestige aspirations of intellectuals and the bourgeoisie. Now, I looked into him as well, and I don't think that he was a Marxist, right? But this is one of the people who it states on the research that was talking about ethno-nationalism, or I might have got that one the wrong way. Weber emphasized that ethnic groups and nations are not based on objective biological factors, but subjective shared beliefs, group feeling. Now that can be, again, is subjective, right? But they're saying it's not based on your biological factors, but the fact of it's the country, and the country has that group feeling, right? This is not the one anyway that we want to do. Contextual. Weber was a passionate German nationalist who often equated it all come from Germany as well. All of these things, right? All of these things, like Karl Marx, like everything else, it comes from two places. When it's before 1941, it comes from two places, and one of the places is Germany. So that's one that we have to look at, and maybe that is why these kind of ethno-nationalism, racial nationalism, whatever else it's going to be on there, these kind of divisions come because before people told you listen, that's a box that you either got to fit in or you don't, then it becomes a bit of a, your mind then goes towards that. Um, so yeah, so Weber was a passionate German nationalist who often equated national interest with the strength of the state, advocating for German cultural influence, and sometimes supported policies that discriminated against minorities, such as the Polish minority in Germany. Now, a lot of these, I'm going to go to the chat in 1 minute, but a lot of these things, right? You've got to, if you want one thing, sometimes the minority, we've got to be discriminated against. People are like, oh, that's bad. What the fuck is that? Can you see this flashing on my screen? Can you see that flashing on my screen? No, you can't. All right, cool. I don't know. It's gone now. Fuck knows what that was. Anyway, so you got to be discriminative. If you want mass deportations, you have to be hard. Where we are now as a country, we're in a country where we can go two ways, right? We can go the right way and we can go the wrong way, right? And the wrong way is carrying on as normal. And the right way is getting a bit of balls and saying, well, actually, we can have both. We can have the rights for indigenous people, for the ethno population, right? We can have rights for us all, right? And I don't see us as me, as people click that, us as in the ethno population, right? And we can also have minority rights too, which would be a controlled, sustained amount of saying, well, this is what we need. We need, let's just say, a 10% or whatever. This is what we need. And if it's more than that, then we'll have to give it to the nation, give it to decent politicians or things like that. This is how Poland operates. This is how Hungary operates. This is how Greece, to a degree, operate. This is how a lot of these places operate. It's not excluding people. And, when they tell you, hang on a minute, you're going to be excluded. No, go tell them, right? Go tell the other countries that are doing actually quite well, right? Go tell them, because that's what the EU is trying to do. I've got loads and 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 loads of comments now. That's what the EU is trying to do. The EU is trying to, have the whole of Europe just be open to anyone. And if you dare say a word to it, they don't have to listen to what you say. No, because they're going to have AI and they're going to have that type of technology, surveilling technology, to just flag you up. Oh, there you go. There's another one for you. Let's go and arrest him. Let's go and do this. Did anyone get a membership? I think there's some memberships there on, we had a few coming through. So hopefully, let's look at this. Banned again. No one, she's done this again. Twice now. My light's done. It's my other top there as well. Give me 1 second. It goes to 100%. No, it doesn't. It changes. 1 second. You're going to see this in real time. Right, that would do. It's going to be so bright on me now. Right. No one asked the British if they wanted to be replaced. No, they didn't. And the last law in, and put the last law in everything. Only a nutcase would want that. That is why we were never asked. Obviously, nobody wanted that. That is a great comment. It's weird. It normally shows in the chat. Yeah, I think them ones. I think the membership things might have come through from yours. I do need to look into that. These labels. This is awaiting wisdom. These labels are academic and only serve to divide us. The real enemy is the globalist government in place, and that's where we need to focus our attention. We do. I'm 100% with you on that, because if we don't get rid of the globalist governments, then nothing ever is going to happen, because they're ultimately going to be in control. But at the same time, when we're trying to do that, we can't then say, well, actually, let us just stop our own activism and stop our own control and say, yeah, we're going to start fighting X, Y, and Z. Because let's face it, this whole ethno-nationalist, non-ethno-nationalist conversation has been created. It didn't just come out of nowhere, right? It didn't. I'm telling you, it didn't just come out of nowhere. This was created, and it wasn't created to have a great conversation, because the conversation that's been had is based on on a falsehood. So how can you say, oh, actually, if I look at the definition of ethno-nationalism and it is exactly what the people want, right? And then I look at racial nationalism and it is exactly what people are saying is ethno-nationalism, then you're never going to win, because people are going to be like, whoa, 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 remigration, that's ethno-nationalism. Keep me out of that. I didn't sign up to that, right? I want something else now. Or maybe I just want to, and this is how the control happens. Slowly, slowly. All right, then we'll give you something and we'll take a lot back. Or we'll give you something and then we will change course. And we will allow you then to make the decision that we said right at the start. COVID was a great way of doing it. Right? Oh, we want to get out. We want to get out. Okay, then cool. You can go out, Richie. What are you going to do? Oh, we're going to do eat out to help out. Okay, but they still need to be in fear. All right, you can only when you walk away from your table, that's when you need your mask. Yes, that will do it. No, we need more fear and we need a digital ID. All right, let's just do the NHS app to make sure you're allowed to get into these places. This is the ways that they are doing it. So they know their end game. They know what goals they want. And they're just trying to manipulate you, the people, to get there. And if you don't go the way they want you to, they'll pull back. It's fine. There's no digital IDs now. There's none at all. But you know what? You're going to need it to vote. I'm telling you, it will be that one. It will be the vote one. Where are we on this thing? Hide that so I can go back. So I can go back to where I am. Oh man, there's so many chats here. I want to go through it because the chat is. Oh, we've got British Landor here. We've got YouTube royalty here. It's not the Queen of YouTube this time. It is the British Landor. How are you doing? We're just going to do it on this one. I don't know. This is in the mid conversation, so it's probably out of context. The attempt to say how many generations and what percentage is just annoying and obtuse. But this is the thing that they want you to do. If they are saying, okay, cool, right, we're going to have that conversation, but we're going to put extreme views on one side and no one else. Because I know British has got great views. Go and look at his Twitter; it's by the same name. Everybody just go on there, jump on his YouTube. It's great views, not really percentages, not really lineages, nothing like that. Just telling you exactly this is how we should do it, or this is why we should go in this direction or that direction about whatever topic he's talking about. And he's right, because once you start talking and you start saying, well, this is the. Oh, he said 15%, he said 20%, he said he wants genetics, he said the conversation's gone. And the conversation needs to keep on point of remigration, stopping the boats, stopping immigration, and making sure that we have government that serves the people. That is what it is. So no matter where they try and put your brain, no matter what way, misdirection, that we have to stay on course. And if we do, we have got this. Yes. So how far? Awaiting instance. How far back British? It doesn't matter how far back British, does it? You know a British person, right? You know, right, that I am not English by lineage, right? You know, I am only English by being born here, right? So that's what you guys know. It's very, very simple. So to be like, we've got to make sure it's British. How it doesn't even have to be that way. All you need to do is have laws in place to say, number one, you got to have laws for the family, right? Laws for the family, and this is where the inequalities come, right? Because oh, Dan, you're going to be doing this to yourself, and your sons and daughters and all that are going to be doing it too. If we start doing, well, actually, let's just get it right. I'm not here to replace, so I'm not having 12 children. I have what I can afford and what I can go by. My children, I would hope they would go and do the same. So it's kind of a controlled amount, right? It's very, very much controlled. But for those who are being demographically replaced anyway, and the birth rate is down. It used to be 2.4 children. Now it's like, now it's like 1.4, something like that, whole child down. You need to do things where these countries that dictators were deposed on. Gaddafi, he had a great family thing. He would. I think it was him anyway. I know British can fact check me here, but on some of these places, there would be like, if you get married, right, they'll give you they'll give you certain money. So if you're married, they give you certain monies, or a house, or a set up place, right? So then you are not worrying about housing. You've got your job or your apprentice, and then a couple more years down the line, you get like a very good, decent tax break. If you have a kid, the wife will be looked after. She will be able to go home and raise about 3 children, right? This is where it needs to be. People need to say you need to have 3 children. But then you're going to be like, yeah, but, when the minorities and no. We're not going to save this in 50 years. We're not going to save this probably in 100 years. It's not in my lifetime and probably not in my children's lifetime, right? But what you need to do is control it. Start controlling and start putting things in place so that Britain can never be in that kind of danger zone, that red zone. That's what we're going to it fast. We're going to that red zone fast. And majority of it is because people refuse to have children, in this world, because it is so messed up, right? And there is a zero loyalty to anything. It used to be, if we go to war, I'm backing my boys. Now I'm just like, you know what? I don't even want them to go to war, because it is not going to be a war that will be protecting us in any single way. Right? And that's what a lot of people are feeling. A lot of people can't afford it. Everything's too expensive. We've got to have mum and dad go to work. These are the things that we as people today, we can start rolling back on. Anything else about how British, how this, that's for the future. That is for the future. I was born in England and I class myself as an Englishman. Why should I'm in the middle of a conversation. I have no idea what I'm about. So I'm gonna be jumping forward a bit. Buddha, how are you doing? If it's the same Buddha, we need something similar to Israel's 2018 nation state law. We advocate for this. So why haven't we got it? Why are we advocating things for other people that we don't have in our own country? That's a question. All the time. Oh, it's all going off in the chat here. So we've got a British. Someone's annoyed British, right? Not even annoyed them, but I think they're coming the wrong way. And I think it is awaiting wisdom. It's in the chat. Everyone can see it. So we'll go on to it, right? About an arrogance, right? The stance of arrogance, right? So British says, I never said I'm superior. I'm just English. I'm tired of listening to someone without any English ancestry tell me that they feel English and don't care about the technicalities, right? And this is where it gets to people. This is where it's all got people, right? And it's a very, very, very valid comment here, right? Why should people, why is this conversation even happening, for one, right? Because, it's a, why is it even happening? We shouldn't be dictating and saying this, that, and the other. My stream's not dictating, it's not saying anything like that, right? But this is where it is. Because people with the ancestry, with the lineage, and with everything else have zero rights. Let's just say this, right? It's a civil rights movement. They got no rights. Got people, not. Got people saying this. I've been here 50 years. I'm as English as I go, and I fell down this trap. Right? I fell down this trap, and I understood how people felt when I said, "Listen, I'm English," right? And people are like, "Dan, you're not. You're British." I'd be like, "No, I'm English by nationality, but not by ethnicity. Obviously, clearly, right? By lineage, no, I was born here, so I'm doing no, Dan, you know. And then I looked into it, and the fact that for generations and generations and generations, English has been abused. Not abused like the blacks over in America, not abused like the caste system of India, abused by a government setting out laws to basically give them no voice, remove the voice of the people of this land, where British's grandfather, his great grandfather, his great great grandfather fought battles in this country, fought battles for him, not for me, because I'm not even in any part of the equation, right? I'm not even in any part of the equation. But they fought, and many died in these battles to keep England for their children. So I think it's the technicalities of this are very, very important. And I understand that maybe it will come a time when people will come to my family line and say, well, you know, your great grandfather, he was an advocate for this, and now you have got to go for this reason. And if that's the case, right? If that's the case, it's like that bird who did your head in, but you loved it so much, but you had to say, do you know what? You got to go. You know, I love the socks off of you, like I do for this country, like everyone does. But sometimes you just have to take it and say, well, that's the situation. And if we don't have that, then in 100 years, there won't be 1,000 years of English history, because it will be wiped out. And I can guarantee it. And people might take offense to that and whatever, but you know, that's it. Enoch Powell visiting Danny. Enoch Powell's listen. Enoch Powell's he's always been a big figure in my life. Italian and Irish is interesting industry. Be proud of it. So that's my opinion of that debate. Have you done anything? Oh, yeah, it's going down. That's probably why there's so many. Right, let's switch up a bit. I've lived abroad and wouldn't dream of disrespecting their country, law, or culture, and still enjoyed living there. Exactly. You know, if this country goes down anymore, you're seeing people going out, leaving, going to other places, right? You see people like James Goddard going to Thailand, right? And I hope he's having a good time over there. And I hope, you know, this was a good few years ago, and I hope life is treating him well. But what I do understand is when people say, "No, listen, you're an ethno, right? Your race is living as an immigrant in another country." I get it, because he's not doing any of the things that are coming here. He's not demanding. Well, he can't. He's in Thailand, right? It's there for the people. It's an ethno-nationalist state, right? So you know, he can't do anything. He can't dictate. He can't vote a certain way. He can't have a business. He can't do a whole heap of stuff. But he's enjoying living in a different culture. He's enjoying learning from that culture, and that's what people should be doing when they come here. There should never be a time when there's a dictator. There should never be a time when there's a group in the parliament that doesn't represent the people. And I mean, represent what the people, you know, the lineage of the people. Look at the Labour Party. That shows everything. Yeah, and you can say what you like. I don't think it should be there. I've said this many times. So it's just like it's all been made to divide us. Emma Watts, exactly that. And it's a difficult conversation, and people will get it wrong, and I'll come out and I'll say things wrong. But this is the art of the conversation. This is the conversation that you need to be having. And when people are pushing back and saying, just like that, when people are pushing back and saying that, it's got to be like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not going to allow that, because you know that's actually incorrect. You know, it would be racial nationalism, and we have to live in these boxes, though. But let's try and not live in the boxes. Faith beyond fear. I did longer than any ethnic Brit boy. Watch your back. Save your skin for the safety of the country. I have no idea. I've missed the comments today. I've gone on my little one, and I've missed the comments today. And I apologize. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know what's going on with the comments, to be fair. The globalists have tightened their grips over the decades. It will take a generation to put everything right. Take longer than that. We have to do it for future generations, and they will honor us for doing it. Exactly. It's like them people, right? They plant a tree. You used to see it in the 1920s, right? Rich people would plant a tree and be like, you know what, I want it just there. I want it just, and they'd be like, it's in the middle of nothing. And they'd be like, this isn't for me, this is for the future. And in the future, it's going to look beautiful. You know, sometimes you go past the house and they've got like there's one big, beautiful oak tree, massive fucker, right? That's because someone's done that. Someone's just said, no, I want it there. And they would never, ever, ever see what I saw. But it doesn't matter because they know, yeah, we've got to hand things down. Stop living in today. Stop living in today and live for the future, because it's all of our children's future. And to be fair, it's as much as a 2-tier or a 2-scale system that we've got to destroy now, right? First of all, we've got to destroy the imminent stuff, and then we've got to destroy the further on stuff. And let me see if I can get this up. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but what is your name? Here we go. So this is one of the ones, right? This is just one of the ones. Let me show. What am I showing? No, I want to take that off. So yeah. Right. Let's get back onto where I can segue this in like a, some type. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's doing me, this is. Oh, that's better. Right. So the same people who are saying, I'm going to put it in the video. But this is how wild the whole thing's gone, right? So if you've seen it all online, all the ethno-nationalists and saying this people you can't speak to because they're ethno-nationalists and all of that, yeah? Then I saw this today. So the College of Advance, I'm not clutching pearls here, right? I'm just being right. College of Advance, you got the person that I speak about, Paul Fort, who's in it, right? So he was talking about how UKIP's new logo is like the Iron Cross, blah, 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 clutching pearls, X, Y, and Z. Advanced UK college member, right? And then I saw this today, and I'm going to go for it probably tomorrow, right? So this is Nick Buckley, MBE, and he's got an amazing guest on there of Nick Griffin. Also at an Advanced UK meeting, a lady came out and spoke about Charlie Kirk, and spoke about what is their Israel positioning, how they're going to be doing it, and they shut it down, and that was about it. She couldn't have that conversation, right? Why is it important? Because one side, who I believe it's going to be there for the country totally, is being told that they are these types of Nazis, right? And on the other side, they are hosting people like Nick Griffin. Now Nick Griffin's more of a I don't know. He's rebranded into one of these far left people, right? So, but the BNP, the British National Party, everyone can say, and if they're gonna be right, if they're gonna be straight, and if they're gonna say that ethno-nationalism is what they say and not what I've just said, then why is one side talking about UKIP, the other side hosting the same thing? This is what I mean. They're telling you to look one direction, and then they're showing you the exact thing in that direction you're looking at, which they're saying is wrong. It's absolute crazy. The way that this country is going at the moment, no one knows what is happening. There's misdirection everywhere. And I've still not heard today, I've not heard anyone come and say, oh, that was a wrong conversation. You shouldn't. You've got collective responsibility. I can go and get the wildest. I can get the wildest people. Right? I speak to some of the wildest people out there. Right? Absolute fucking wild. Half of them I just want to learn from them. Right? Half of them are batshit crazy. I don't get them on the podcast. I'm starting to do podcasts very, very soon, like proper interview styles. But everyone can do it. But you got collective responsibility for your political group. Imagine that. Imagine I pull some wild card out. Everyone's like, "Oh, actually, you represent UKIP because even though you're only a member, you you speak about it all the time, right? I might as well do their promotions. I might as well be the head promotion person." And even I would say I wouldn't do that. Absolute crazy. But this is why it's important that we take control of it all. But yeah, that's probably it. I don't know what's going on with that noncy boy DJE. Did he get his comeuppance from the other guy, Tay? Did he or not? What you don't want, Liz Lewis, what you don't want is a country full of people that either hate the culture or come for nefarious reasons. And that's what we're having at the moment. This is what we're having at the moment. People hate the country. Here's another one, Faith Beyond Fear. There's 2 veterans here, right? Has the government that we served helped or appreciated your service in any way whatsoever? This is the thing. If you lived in a country like Poland, you get horses on National Day on November the 11th. You get horses running through for all the years, representing all the kings, all the army people. You wouldn't be going out seeing people who are on the streets. You wouldn't even be seeing people who have served. Even America, they have a good loyalty service for veterans and current service people. So the UK's broke, man. Absolutely broke. Danny Tormo to France. Whilst this is going to be controversial too. Whilst I agree with all of that, right? Something needs to be done. It needs to be exposed. We need to know exactly what is going on in French shores, right? Imagine a group of foreigners came to our country. Imagine Just Stop Oil. They brought their German counterparts, right? Or French counterparts to come into London and to spray up, I don't know, to do something outside Buckingham Palace. Anywhere, doesn't matter. Tate Gallery, whatever, it doesn't matter. We would be outraged like that. We'd be like, what are they doing here? Why don't they just do it in their country? And that's the kind of position that I'm in on this, right? That I love what they do out there. It needs to be done. But then the other side of me is saying, well, actually, how would we react? Isn't that just the same? But what you can do is what needs to be done is exposing exactly the criminals in the parliament. We did it when we did the Dover demo. We went back and went back directly to parliament and said, actually, these people in parliament, these secretaries to the MPs, these people have nefarious connections to certain centres and certain contractors in them centres. That's what you need to do. Unless you're going to take out the boats. If you're going to take out the boats, take them out. It's sorted out now. The chat has calmed down. It's all sorted out. It's all sorted out now. So we are good. But England is the homeland of the English. And today they're around 65%. That's ridiculous. It is. I don't think anyone can disagree with that, British. I don't think anyone can disagree. It's an absolute joke. And the same people who have got you there in that position are now trying to seek election from you. I would have British with zero political education or whatever, right? Never not done politics or anything like that. I'll take him over any of the 50 and overs, 60 and overs. Yeah. I just killed it somehow. I don't know. I just killed my own vibe here. It was says FNATs are flexible in their percentage. Everyone's got to do their own acceptable number in their own head. While British birth rates is around 1.1, some foreign groups are much higher. The overall is about 1.5. The demographic shift is going to be enormous and fast. And it's when it happens is when you see it. It's when it happens. It's like when you see all the YPG Kurds in London. I didn't know we had that many Kurdish people here. Got fucking thousands. When you look at the Iranians, thousands upon thousands. Look at the Indians, thousands upon thousands. Look at the blacks, thousands upon thousands. Now, if all of them have one baby, that's a huge amount of people. And when they have 4 or 5, then it's a mess. Sadly, politics like tax breaks, Hungary, or even banning abortion in Poland haven't much effect on birth rates. All right, that's fair enough. But there could be ways of doing it. There has to be a way of doing it, because it was very successful in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Very successful, because we're not in a if you remove everyone that's not English, it's still, I don't think, well, it wouldn't have been, because it's too much of a variance, because then you'd have all the money that's going to waste and all of that, what we could push and how we'd control ourselves and all sorts of stuff. News pushes how badly the world is, sadly. News loves it. Buddha again on the nation states. If Israel get one, why can't we? Why are we clapping it, saying, yeah, in fact, Louise is right. That's all we need. Come on, that's all we need. All we need is a written constitution. It is. People are going to say, Dan, you need a lot more than that. But if we can get facts down on paper, then it's on paper. It's a constitution. You have to agree with it. You have to abide by it, Men stay healthy, dependable, go to work, love and respect a good woman, have to nurture the children. It used to be that. It used to be that. I would come home from school, and it would only be my mum. The only time I see my old man, right, was on a Sunday, down the social, holidays, and that's about it, to be fair. And he went to the football, come back from work, go to the football, but it wasn't a thing. It's not a thing of saying, oh, do you know what? Like now, your dad's not around. No, dad was just working. That's all he was doing, working like all the hours. Sainsbury's in the nights, doing the old shelves, coming back in the mornings. Like, it's crazy. But, my childhood weren't bad. It was all right. It was very, very good. Do you know what I mean? So it's important that you have a family unit. So important. But then in that family unit, you need to have the roles. And I'm sorry, there are roles that have been assigned, whether or not it's right or wrong. If you want to remove the roles, that the wife goes out and the husband stays at home with the kids, and that's fine. But it has to be that roles of mother, father, someone's there for the kids and someone's there for the work. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I'm not sure how anything will. Families won't work anyway, because the nuclear structure of the family has disappeared. The nurturement of the mother, or if you want to swap roles or whatever, the nurturing of the parent figure is going to be gone. Then the family's going to break down anyway. That is my opinion. Even check out the 10-state plan on Europe and the UN. The 10-state plan by Europe. What else new? Oh, that was that thing she pulled out today, wasn't it? 10-step EU plan. See, they're fucking crazy, absolute crazy. As of 2025, the EU and the Ukraine have developed a 10-point action plan to accelerate Ukraine's accession. We're paying for that as well. We're paying for the Ukraine to come back from the war and everything else, and to be happy again and to have businesses and that, whilst we haven't got half the stuff that they'll have. Is it the one for Ukrainian EU accession? If it is, I'll put it on the screen right there. If it is this one, it says from 2025 by 26. It might be this one. It might be this one. Let's have a look at this one. The 10-step EU plan. So, the key pillars of the 10-point plan for Ukraine's EU accession, 25 to 26, judicial reform, appoint new judges to the Constitutional Court following international vetting, anti-corruption strategy, implement a new state anti-corruption program by Q2 2026, SBI reform the state of Bureau of Investigations, more judging, technical negotiations rather than vetoes, political levels to bypass vetoes, strengthen the democratic institutions. It's just red tape after red tape after red tape, and we're paying for shit like that. What's this one? Tommy and Advance UK lot of snakes calling FNATs Nazis, putting a tag like that on pure patriots, snaky as fuck. Makes Tommy look like a traitor whilst loving Israel. Well, you know, that's everyone has their opinions on that. I don't think, who did he call a Nazi? I know your Advance UK lot do, and that's why you have to be. Listen, if you're a racial nationalist and you want England, I'm not saying you, as in thingy, and I need to get this off because it looks like I'm talking about this one. But if somebody is a racial nationalist, right, that wants just nationalism based on biologies and stuff like that, right, based on skin color, whiteness, or whatever, that's one side, right? If you, like I said earlier on about the ethno, this is the description. If that's what you are, then that's what it is. You can't merge things together. You can't say, well, you know what? If you're that, that actually means that. If you're that, you actually means that. And everyone, right, as mad as it sounds, has to speak about what you're doing. Now, people say that Steve Laws is this, that, and the other. Listen, he's speaking about what he believes. Yeah, he's speaking how he wants to put it across. He's putting across his policies. He's doing something, right? And that's not being in your bedroom. It's not being in your bedroom just typing out on the keyboard. So you have to give a level of respect of saying, listen, if that's what this is democracy. Yeah, so democracy is kind of giving people a choice, and the most amount of people win. So we have to give everyone the choice, no? Surely. Even if I don't like it, even if it's really against me, you think I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, let's just not do that. Because if we don't do that, then it's a different conversation that we're going to have. And certain, you know, there's going to be groups that like it as well. And to be fair, yeah. Yes. I'm part English and part Welsh. This is Viv. I'm part English, part Welsh. My family have been here, both sides, for hundreds of years. This is my home. I have nowhere else to go. See? And that's what it is. It's as simple as that. Consent through silence by statues they've walked over us. Many of us don't know our rights, and we're not even taught them like the USA years ago. The kids would deport card. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't even be having this conversation, right? This is my home. I've got nowhere else to go. That should never be in a conversation. That is how bad things are gone. That is how bad things are gone. When you're not taught history, the kids aren't taught history. They're taught some globalist education, and that globalist education is to say that the people who say that, the people who say we've got no, so the people who say this is my country, this is my home, I've got nowhere else to go, that I want a white majority country, that you know, this is my land, my ancestors have bled on this soil, I have a voice. These things, they're being told, that is the racial dog whistle. But if you say open the borders, that is what every patriot should be doing. So the kids are coming up out from school with this ideology. They see them meet the real world. They know the real world's different. They're all confused. And then that's why they start dying there and cutting off their genitals. It's crazy. We need to be in a world where that's never happened, where it's like, you know what? Shall we let in a few more people? Can we afford to do it as a country? You know? I don't even think Windrush. People are like, oh, Windrush. Windrush, I believe, was done without the consent of the people. So from the very, very start of it. Yes, I much prefer to be here than in a shanty in what is it's not really shanties, but I could be in a shanty in Jamaica. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I got a great end of that stick, right? But let's not forget, I want the worst for England, for Britain, like a lot of people do. There's a lot of people there that would happily take this country down on both sides. Fucking, it's absolutely crazy. There's no respect in some of these people. Some of these people who have the lineage, who have there's no respect for their culture or their fellow countrymen. Absolute none. And that's what we have to get out. And that's why people say about Nick Tenkoni, right? And they say, oh, do you know what? Yeah, UKIP is shit. Nick Tenkoni, he just comes out and he shouts, look who he was talking the other day. He was saying the communists, we're going to deport you too. Well, I think anyone who's against the country, no matter who you are, if you are against the country like that, like those communist, these Antifa scum people, then they should really go to that country that they truly support, or just go into a re-education place or something, because they're clearly a danger to the country, because they have no respect for the flag. They have none. They have no loyalty to it. You know, like Lando and a couple of other people. They've been there on the front line to defend this. Come back home, seeing their fellow veterans that are out on the street, their fellow veterans still struggling to get mental health advice, or to get, to be safe at least. We see them on one side there, and you see all the hotels with people who shouldn't be here, right? That's the reality of the whole situation. That is it. People now are saying, well, why should I? Why should I do what these have done, at the risk of death or severe mental health issues, or even losing limbs? But why should I do that? When I get home, I have no fucking rights anyway. No one gives a shit about me. You've done your job. Thank you very much. Now let's give the money to the illegals. Let's give the money to the migrants. Let's give the money to the people who ain't fucking working, who's been here for a better life, and their better life is sitting on a dole. No, that's where Nick Tenkoni gets my vote, because he's like, nah, we've got to sort this out. We'll do it this way, and we'll tell them too. Listen, change your mindset so people can be proud. And I know there's millions and millions and millions of people who are proud, but the ones who seem to give out the black pill to be able to show people how they love another flag, another country, it's disgraceful. The whole fucking lot. That I'd rather them go. I'd rather them go with everyone else and be called whatever you like, because a country that doesn't have that cultural connection that we would at any moment in time run out of this house, right? There's a war, we've been invaded properly, run out of the house, find the local, the local armory. It's never going to happen, right? But we need people who will be prepared to do that. Just to run out and say, right, I'm not going to come back, but I'm gonna help defend this country. You wouldn't have that now. If we got invaded, right, you would not have that. Not at all. Not at all. There should be Antifa should be a terrorist group. Should be a terrorist group, 100%. But digital, preach, Danny. Man's head a re-education camp for communists. Ironically, yeah. And that's it. We need to snap out. Keir Starmer needs deporting. Keir Starmer, if I was in power, Keir Starmer would not get deported, but he would be straight on the crimes against the British people. Straight into the... We couldn't even do it in international court, because we know that's corrupted. So we'd have to have our own courts for our own crimes against our own people. Have to be. What did Ban say? LTG, good to see you. 100% desecration in the US was forced. 100% desecration forced, and you see it's happening. Wisdom. Oh, I'm going upwards, so I have no idea what this is. I'm backwards in this one. Right, but then that's it. I don't know who Chirac is yet, but he's on one. He's on one. Advanced UK Muslim MP controlled by Zionists, but you can't really say it's wrong. You can't really say it's wrong. They say he's not a Muslim though. They say that he is not a Muslim. He's not a Muslim, but yeah. I don't know. He had to apply to be British if he's got a British passport at all. If he's applied at all, imagine that. Imagine that, right? Imagine it comes out that Ben Habib was caught. Imagine it come out that Ben Habib didn't actually have a British passport. He was still on his Pakistani passport because it's seed through the father, isn't it? So I know his mother's British. We'd have had to have, I'm sure he'd have had to nationalise himself. Or did he? Is it just like grandfather rights? Who knows, eh? It'd be a mad one, though. A boomer, UK Blues, Starmer traitors, London Tower, high tide, bye. Let's do it. Let's do it. I was born way before Generation X. I'm a Gen X. We are born ready. Yeah, I would say so. I'm Gen X, but the people that are doing it now are the Gen Zs, aren't they? Worldwide. That little movement they had got together was crazy. What else is in the news? So we've got Nick Buckley. And I can't wait for Femi's one, right? You know Femi, the Green Party. Femi, the actual minstrel man himself, the Brexit person has found himself actually in a place where he can be somewhere, and that is the media arm of the Green Party. I'm pretty damn sure. But he said about Nick Buckley one time, I think Nick Buckley told him to go back to Africa, or something like that, right? And he was like, "Oh, all these people are racist." But having up Nick Griffin as an amazing guest, saying at the beginning, listen, it's absolute wild. Absolute wild. But this is going to take this video down because I always do this. I always have a good stream, and then all of a sudden I do retarded things like what I'm going to do now, but it's important. And then I always get a strike on it. Always. But these people, all right, what's this? Cinema mode. Is that better? Listen to the beginning bit.
About the working class being so stupid.
We know things have changed this last couple of years because I had no hesitation of inviting you on the channel.
It's a campaign to deny the British people the choice. But simply abolishing the mayoral post because we were going to win it, that really sums it up. We talked about immigration and the grooming issues.
Tina,
so
I'll put it on there. I think she changed her username.
Political elite could no longer ignore.
Hi everybody, and welcome.
Right, so this is it, yeah? So people know, right? This is the Iron Cross moment. So this is an advanced UK college member, supposed to be the top of the top, the highest of the high, the person who helps do policies, right? Listen, this is the introduction.
Welcome back to Nick Talks. This episode's amazing guest, first time on the channel, is a gentleman you may have heard of if you're my age and maybe a bit younger, and that's Nick Griffin, former leader of the BNP, the British National Party. How you doing, Nick?
I'm fine, thanks. Nick, good to be with you.
Thank you. We know things have changed this last couple of years because I had no hesitation of inviting you on the channel. And I feel a little bit of a coward to say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I probably would have been a lot more nervous speaking to you, publicly speaking to you, because for many years, for well over a decade, if not 2 decades, you were perceived as the boogeyman. You were perceived as the new Hitler in a suit, smiling. And that's how the press, the politicians, put that message out about you, basically propaganda, because you were seen as a threat to the establishment. Today, we're all against the establishment. And I'd like to get to several things with you today. First of all, about the BNP and my personal experience of sitting in council meetings in Manchester and the BNP being raised. A little bit of research I did on BNP 15 years ago, and ending with, do you think you and the BNP have been vindicated over the last couple of years? Because I think that's quite important. What I don't want to do is ask you all the questions everybody else has asked you over the last year. You might as well watch those episodes if that's all I'm going to do. So the first thing is this. You were portrayed, and the BNP were portrayed as beyond the pale. You were talking about mass immigration when nobody was talking about mass immigration. You were talking about the grooming gang scandal when, God forbid, anybody should mention that multiculturalism doesn't work and has negative consequences. So let me start about my experience. So I was a middle manager for a decade at Manchester Council. Please excuse this interruption.
Give me 1 second.
Anglophobia. Why do they hate us? Is it jealousy, envy? And at one of the points, I was taking meetings, in very senior meetings within the council, so heads of service, top politicians, and they wanted someone of a higher caliber to take minutes of those meetings once a month. And it was a month before a local election. So this would have been 2008. So this would have been before the May election, 2008. Because I already did that job for a year. So there was only one election in that period. And I remember sitting in a meeting, taking minutes, having to keep my mouth shut because I wanted to speak, because this meeting was all about how do we stop the BNP in North Manchester. Blakely was one of the areas I remember them mentioning. How do we stop the BNP? And I remember thinking to myself, the BNP is, I wasn't a BNP supporter, but I remember thinking, the BNP is a legitimate political party. This can't be right, that we're having a council putting a plan together to stop a political party. And I remember thinking, that's not right. And then they were talking about, right, we need to get our street cleaners working only in that area, and every BNP poster, sticker,
So you can see that, right? It wasn't a bit that I thought it was. I thought I could roll it on. Well, it might have done. I might have missed it. I've heard it a few times now. But if you want to go and see that, I'm gonna put it in the panel. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can do it. So there you go. Full credit has been done. Full credit is in the comments. But you know, this is an advanced UK person. So then we see Nick Griffin, 5 pillars. And then you go to this one.
Significant shift in the West against Israel, that the Zionist lobby are ever more frantic to try to pull people back into line, and also to use the concern about immigration and
very good intro, by the way,
as a way to drive the British back to support Israel in practical terms as well as just in political terms. And vast amounts of money have been thrown at this now. So this is a good place to bring up the fact this isn't just the Zionists. The only way that America can survive their coming catastrophe is if they find an extra 20 or 30 or 40 million.
I'm going to pause it there, right? But this is him on 5 pillars, which is the Islamist thing. But I'm going to stop it there because Mr. Dilly Hussein has a... Do you remember? I don't even think I told everyone at the time when it was happening, but it was a mad time when Dilly Hussein, the person of 5 pillars, got a private investigator to come and find out where I lived, right? And they said that, and the private investigator was... he was watching, he was looking into me, he was getting all my details, and he was like, actually, this guy's all right. I'm not comfortable giving the details. And he messaged me. He messaged me, phoned me, and I phoned him, and he said all that, and I was like, oh, this is wild, man. Why is this happening? So yeah, I don't really want to give him enough stuff to say. Oh, hang on a minute, let's listen to what Dan's got to say again, and then we'll get another private investigator to come and take him on again. But you know, it is the fact that Advance UK are saying we can't do any of this. Yeah, Advance UK kicked out a lady for talking about Zionism, for talking about is Advance UK a Zionist party? Now I know a lot of us have changed our minds over, you know, a position, and this is more of a video that will come out, okay, about Christianity and about Zionism and about how things are kind of merging into one. But the party, you can't have that. If you're coming and attacking Nick Tenkoni for having a rebrand of their logo, then you can't come out and have your college members to be doing this wild stuff unless you want to control both sides of the conversation. Unless you do actually want to have, you know, control over the side that you say that you're against, and then you have control over the side that you say that you're promoting. So when you do that, you're no good. You know better than a Rothschild, because that's what he did. He banked on both sides and he come out winning. Of course you will. You always do. BlackRock do it. BlackRock are funding, you know, Ukraine, and I can guarantee you there's money going into Russia as well. Scumbags, a lot of them. No one's there for the country, apart from UKIP, obviously. But yeah, thanks for the link. Emma Watt says, I don't like him. He's not got nice views on sick and disabled people for government support. I think that's about Ben Habib. I meant the man with his mask, etc. It's a circular. Tina says, how you doing, Tina? I hope you're well. Tina says, it's a circular prison with cells arranged around a central well from which prisoners at times could be observed. And that is what Shamima Mahmood is trying to bring into the UK. See this one here, right? I'm going to put this one up here. Zionists killed Jesus by grassing him up to Rome. How can these fake Christians self-confess to have been a Zionist like Richard Inman, Tommy Robinson, fake evil? Actually, it wasn't Zionism Zionists that killed Jesus. Well, it was the Romans, wasn't it? Right? And they were born. Zionism was born out of it. I think it was born like way out of it. So I don't know. We'll have to have a look at it. But I think that message is incorrect about Jesus anyway. All the government centralization moves will giving him the ability to see. And you're gonna notice, right? You're gonna notice tomorrow that because I put up Chirac's messages, he's in the stream. He's in the messages. He's having a conversation. He's talking to people, whatever. You're gonna have people are gonna say, "Look at Dan. Look at Dan's not on the side. Dan's not on. Look what he's saying about this. Look what he's saying about that." They're gonna have more issue with that than the actual conversation, and then you're gonna see them doing the same thing. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you. It's absolutely. It's not even. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a joke. Oh, listen, he said that about Zionism. He said that he's going on about Nick Buckley. He's going on about this. He's talking about the Ethno-Nationalism. I can guarantee you there'll be a pile on tomorrow. But you know what? We can't be afraid and we can't be silenced because there's going to be a pile on. It could be a pile on. We just got to stay true to a cause, true to a belief, and true that if we do that, then we will weather the storm. There's no other way we're going to do it. We're not going to gain control out of a civil war like these lot are thinking. And if there is a civil war, well, we're not going to be on the side that's going to be the people who are initiating it, right? I can guarantee you that it will be from the Islamists, right? So we've got to look at the government. And at the moment, the people who are posed to be the ones who are going to save us, I don't think they have our best interests in heart. The only one who is deleted to a degree for doing nothing, saying nothing against people, has been very supportive of Tommy, of Katie, have been supportive of patriots, have been supportive on Christianity, has not wavered, has not moved away. The only person that gets attacked is UKIP and Nick. And when Nigel Farage said about UKIP the other day, then he was like, "Oh yeah, oh, what did he say? Oh, you would expect it or something because I've run the party for so long." He didn't say that because of that. He said that because he was just talking, not in public, in private. Because a lot of people in private are talking how to stop UKIP because Nick Tanconi, he doesn't have the presence of media. He doesn't have the presence. It takes thousands and thousands of pounds to be able to have a good media campaign, and UKIP don't have it. But what we do have is we have the everyday folk, the guy up in the council estate. And after I've had my operation, if they don't mess about, right, which they're starting on, which is why I didn't do the thing yesterday, because I was absolutely fuming about what these people. I can't say anymore because I know where it's come from. I know it's come from these streams. Because when a surgeon comes in and he's like, you see the little flag thing, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, so I think he watches the streams because it's just wild. Anyway, so if I can get it sorted out, we will be going to these council estates. We will be going to all these places. Like I said back in May, when the Make Britain Speak campaign, it was like, let's just speak. Charlie Kirk came here to Cambridge, and he come back and he was like, you know what, Britain's losing its voice. And I thought, you know, that's a brilliant thing. It was on the stream like this. Someone said, listen to what Charlie said. It's absolutely brilliant. And we will go to the council estates, and people will say, yeah, UKIP's our people. We're not doing it online. We don't have to. I have to wait and see. Christian Zionism is like saying cold fire. Well, it's like, I got myself into trouble with this because I was like, there's no such thing as Christian Zionism because it doesn't make sense. Because I was made to believe that Zionism was allowing Jews to have a homeland, right? Cool, have a homeland. I'm good with that. Christianity is the belief in Jesus Christ, right? So then I was thinking you can't put them together because you can't have Jesus Christ, the belief of Jesus Christ, and I can't even work it out now. It was just the connections I'm trying to make. It just didn't happen. It doesn't work out, because Israel is Christian land then, because it's where the whole stories are going through. It's not a Hebrew Judaism, whatever it's fucking called, right? It's not that, right? I couldn't work out, so I said it's nothing. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. And then lo and behold, 2 months ago, just before Christmas, the 1,000 pastors come in there to talk about anti-Semitism, to go back to the churches to know how to tackle it. I was just like, what? There is such a thing. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then I look at the scriptures, and they bastardize the scripture. Bless. What is it? What is it? Genesis 12:6, is it? Bless Israel, and you'll be blessed. If you hate on Israel, you're going to be hated, or whatever the thing is. And they say this is why Israel is part of us, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, whoa, that's wild, because the Israel today is not the Israel of before. It's not the Israel of the Bible. Absolute crazy. And that's when I started looking. I was looking, and I was like, whoa, I think I need to do a video on this. But yeah, cold fire. I don't even think it's like saying cold fire. It's just, yeah, actually, water fire. I'd say water fire, not cold fire. I'd say water fire. The Jews had killed Jesus. The Jews had Jesus killed. All right, yeah, cool. I'll go back on Shrek's thing. All right, cool. Yeah, it's the way it's put. I've taken it. I had taken it on the different way. Yes, the Romans crucified Jesus, but he have his life up willingly. He gave his life up willingly. He had to. The great distractions are acting The great distractions are acting as the great awakening. Once we can see them, once we can see the distractions and we can have the receipts to the distractions, of course it is. Devil is war. That's the way they control it. That's the way they'll do what they want to do. Is through war and destruction. It's only satanic. It's only even. The Roman soldiers from the Syrian regiment. So actually Syrians, oh, this is wild now. We're getting on the actual. Should we see it? Should we find out exactly? Should we find out exactly? Where can I find out exactly? I'd say who killed Jesus? Who? This is why I like these chats as well, right? Because it just goes like into some weird directions that I just can't manage because I can't manage myself. So Jesus was executed by the Roman soldiers under the authority of Pontus. Yeah, but are they Syrians? The Barabbas, salvation, why the Gospels document historical event. Oh, I don't know. It's too much to look into. The Pharisees, right, LTG, Ben Habib is lying, Pakistani Muslim. Say it how it is. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You know? There we go. We've got authority on it now. We have got authority here. The Pharisees, Jewish religious elite, had Jesus killed by gaining the permission of their imperial leaders by the Roman Empire. So everyone's a winner in that debate. I was watching it, Tenkone's channel this evening. The amount of publicity UKIP's been given has been astronomical. Yippee, waking Christians up. It is, but the ones I've seen, the one they're not actually using UKIP as in, and people like Kevin Sullivan. He just says very quickly, yeah, it's UKIP, and then goes on to this long thing about how Christians are being banned from London, and I think that's I think that's disrespectful. To be fair, the way that they pander to other political leaders. Faith Beyond said it better than me. Of course, Faith Beyond Fear is a boss. That's what I said. He's the authority. He's coming here. It's the authority. Opinions, Danny, 100% for slowing them up and holding up for showing them up and holding up free speech. This is what it is on this channel. You've been around here a little while. You said a few things, and I've never said, "Oh, we're not going to say that." Unless I can check, if people start crying when I challenge and whatever, then that's on them. But everyone's got a right. Everyone's got the right to say what they got. I don't care. The Jews don't recognize our Jesus as savior. Exactly. Right? So they don't recognize. This is the Judeo-Christian stuff. This is where the Christian Zionism comes in, because how those who bless the land, bless Israel, and you're going to be blessed. If you curse Israel, you are going to be cursed. That's what I was trying to get to, right? So that there is what people are saying. You see it every Sunday, right? Every Sunday you go to places and it's going to be there. It's online. People are preaching that. But the fact of the matter is the Talmud, Judaism doesn't recognize Jesus. The New Testament has come and fulfilled the Old Testament. Moses was the law. Jesus has come and said, it's all good. We've all done it now. You don't have to sacrifice animals. You don't have to do all the stuff. I am here. We have now fulfilled what has been passed. Let's go to the future, right? That's the way I look at it. I might be wrong, but that's the way I look at it. So how can they be blessed as a people? How can Christians be saying that they can be blessed? How can you look at Israel today and say that is the same as biblical? And this is my confusion when I was looking at the Christian Zionism, when I realized it was a real thing. How many times I've said online, "Oh, you lot are all chatting rubbish," like, and it is. I can't understand that. That's like saying, and if you agree with that, then you have to agree Islam is he has a place in Christianity, because they have the same prophets, the same people. They, Mary has her own chapter. It's the only woman that has a chapter in the whole of Quran, and it's Mary. So if you're going to say, well, these people don't believe in Jesus as a savior, Jesus is a king, he's Lord of Lord and everything else, these people don't either. The Islamists don't either. So you have to, if you believe in one, you've got to believe in the other. That's it. Simple as that. Or you can say, actually, if you believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to be saved. And that is the only way that you are going to be saved from eternal hell. I thought Ben Habib was a Christian. I don't think he's a practicing Christian. And this is the thing. Right? So I'm told that he grew up in Pakistan for the start of his life. So over there, and being your father, the father having a big influence in the religion and things like that, they've got more power than the women. I would assume that he would have been growing up as a Muslim, and then when he come to the UK with his mum, I think he went over there when the war started or whatever, and then when he's come over here, he didn't have to become a Christian. So did he? Or did he not worship over there anyway? And he took his mum's side anyway? Because that's a possibility. It's all a possibility. But it's all things that don't need to be thought of. You just, I don't know. That's why I see things are getting nefarious, and yeah, I don't know. I just hope people are honest. That's all I hope. But I know there's dishonest people in there, so. Like British people are not the British government, biblical Jewish leaders are not the Jewish. We're not the Jewish people. 100%. He did say he held Christian values, but not a Christian. There we go. They don't believe Jesus was the Messiah. They are still waiting. Yeah. He's not the one. They're waiting for someone else to come. And someone else said in the Talmud that he's burning in hell or something. Yeah, and I've got something on there as well. I've got something on that as well, which hopefully I can get out about Christianity in Israel, like firsthand. Islam has no place in the world, let alone Christianity. No, it doesn't. But if you're believing in one way, if you believe in one set of people, you have to bless them, because if you don't, you're anti God. Let's just say. And they don't support what you support. They don't support that Jesus is the savior. Then the same as Islam, they don't believe that Jesus is the savior. In fact, they say that Jesus was taken up to heaven and he's going to come back. That's what the Islamists are saying. You look at the Bible, Allah took Jesus before the crucifixion. I think they put someone else in place, or it didn't happen, or I'm not too sure about it. They took him up, and he's going to return. Yet the Prophet Muhammad, he died. So they're showing there's a higher place for Jesus than there is for the Prophet Muhammad. So if you look at that and put them both together, you have to say, well, you got to bless them as well, which is it's a ridiculous notion. It's absolutely ridiculous. Islam allows lying. Islam's from the devil itself. They twisted it. Exactly. Google this. Back catalogue full of garbage. Google this. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9 and Revelation 3:9. I didn't want to get into... Oh, man. Right. I'm going to do it. Revelation. Because I'm not the best person. I do prefer when I do these types of stuff to have someone that has a relative knowledge to myself. That does it for the right reason. Verse 9. What am I doing that for? 2:9. Where are we going to? What are we doing it in? Let's do it in this one. King James. Let's go. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. No, let's not do this one, because What's the? Oh, isn't there one that I can? It's not the American. All right, we'll put it on this one. I've lost it now. I know the works and tribulation and poverty. Oh, let me put it on there. What am I doing, bruv? Come on. There we go. Right. I know the works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And then verse 3:9. Revelation. What are we looking at? I've lost it. Chapter 3:9. That's 2:9. Oh man. Oh, what am I doing? We know that one as well about the synagogue of Satan. I behold, will not make them the synagogue of Satan, which they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before my feet, to know that I have loved thee. So these ones need to be in context as well. These ones, and again, it's one we can look at and we can go through in the context, because some of these, I've noticed that when I look at a passage or I look at something and I'm like, well, hang on a minute, I look a few bits back and I'm like, oh, that puts it into more of a context. But we do know what we are seeing now is a merge of things that shouldn't be merging. And we'll have it. We'll get someone that has more of an authority than me, and we can go through all of these things and we can actually look and say, you know, what's going on, because it's 12:30, and yeah, what 47 messages that I haven't read. What's going on? What's going on, the night walkers? I love it at night time as well, because you know we're here, we're just chilling. Muhammad never prophesied once in his life, never. And that was from Emma. Again, people focus on Jewish leaders, many ethnic Jews. Again, people focus on Jewish leaders, many ethnic Jews are Christians, that they spread the gospel. Yeah, but the people that went, when he said go spread the gospel, people then left, and then you got Christian Syria. You know, Christian, all these Middle Eastern countries were Christian countries because they went out and spread it. And the people who stayed, I believe, were the people who didn't believe in the prophecies or believe what was said, and then they stayed. And that is where you're getting the people who still believe in, you know, the law of Moses versus the New Testament, which is fulfilled in it. I don't know. I have a relationship with Jesus and I belong to no denomination. That's another thing that got done. Loads of denominations, loads of things, loads of sects, loads of offshoots, and you got lots. But from back then, they realized the genius of putting things in boxes. Would we still have been a Christian nation if the Pope allowed Henry VIII to have the divorce? Would we? Or would it have been changed some other way? Because that was a change, wasn't it? It was a change from doesn't believe that the Pope should have ultimate authority over the UK. Is, you know, it's what he did, and he got the Church of England. King James Version, yeah, I just did that. Remember real Jews, i.e. the 12 tribes, are scattered across four corners, will not return until Judah ends. But out of them 12 tribes as well, it goes deep, because then you're going to go to Abram before he was Abraham. What was said to him, then his seed is it introduces it. But then if you look further back and you go to the side of it and all the other people, then you notice that some of the 12 tribes, I'm sure it was, some of the 12 tribes said that they're not. What ancestry was it? I can't remember. But there was something I heard recently about that, about the 12 tribes. Going to sleep now. Emma's going to sleep. Oh, faith beyond. Whoever's going to sleep, I'm going to cut this off in a minute anyway. Islam is full of death and hate. The revelation horses are the cause for the Islamic flag. Exactly that. Look at the context. Look at it in context, because the meaning is crystal clear. Listen, he said to the Jews, Jesus said, he said, what did he say? I'm going to spew you out or something. I'm going to remove you all if you don't believe in what's being said. He's not a person that was like, let's just do X, Y, and Z. So the context is there. There is context that there has been conflict. There is context there. But what I'm saying is, on other passages or more towards that passage, it's good to see the full context of what's being said at that point in time, and then nobody can say that you're just taking things out of context. There's a lot of context in that bit, wasn't it? So it was faith, night faith. CRV was created by Henry VIII. Emma said that. And the Pope was part of the Club of Rome. See, as Catholic, I'm going to have to go and confess to it. But I don't think that, even though Pope Leo, I respect him, because when he went to Turkey, he didn't do what everyone else did, and he didn't pray in the mosque, in the Great Grand Mosque, the one with the blue roof. He didn't pray in there, which I respect that. And he's trying to bring a different style of ruling, I guess. But even that, I have problems. But we don't have problems in faith. And that's the main thing. And that's why, I know what you're saying. You're not part of a denomination. We're all Christians at the end of the day. We all understand, and we all try to give our life to Christ in any way that we can. But also, there's Christians who may not want to do it in the same way, and they want to try and bring as many people over to their way of thinking. Only one day is going to come. This is one day is going to come when everyone's going to know who's right and who's wrong. So we just got to wait on that, because what's in your heart is different. So we've got Catholics are not Christians, we're pagans. That's blasphemous on there. But bring the proof. Let's bring it out. So you'll say that the Eastern Orthodox are the true Christians. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. It's written on the day of judgment that many will say, Jesus, inside the works in your name. And he will say, depart from me, I don't know you. And that's it. That's that one day. That's that one day. And I think that's it. I think we're going to hit the end of the stream, and we'll have to manage tomorrow the incoming. We'll have to manage the incomings tomorrow about it. You lot do great anyway. I've seen you on the other streams. I see you pushing the same. You know, we are starting to push onto the other streams and push back. That's what I need you all to do, to keep doing. Let me just finally, while I'm waiting for this to say that all Catholics are pagans, let me just see what my live figures are over on a Getter. I can't actually see it. Actually, I'm not even on here. I'm not even live. I am live. I am live. Pause that. Let me pause that. How many views? Look at that. Look at that. Let's get that up there. And this is why. What am I doing? Sharing my screen. Once again, come across over to Getter at Danny Roscoe is on Getter. 1,258 views. Now, if everyone was as free speaking as these platforms, the old good platforms, all right? The old good thank you. The old good platforms, we'll be able to spread our message. But because we're on here, which I think I have 20 people on YouTube, it's incredible how you get such a different thing. But anyway, the Catholic Church is one of the richest establishments on the planet. You're fucking too right about that. On the planet, they help the poor, my buttercream. You're right about that. It is a very, very, very hidden secret establishment. There's lots we can go down. We'll go down it a different day. I'll get my bits in there. In fact, everyone, inbox me your most controversial, your most thing, anything on the Bible, one verse, right? So we know we've got Revelation, Revelation 2:9. Just send it on my socials, yeah? Just inbox me, kill my inboxing, right? And we'll try and go through them. We'll try and do the controversial verses, and then we can go and have a much more informed, because I'll have things ready, right? I'll be able to go and reference things, because I don't really like speaking when I can't reference something or I haven't looked into a particular thing. But there's lots of good people out there on YouTube. And one of my favorite ones at the moment in the biblical sphere is history. Where is it? I was listening to her. This one. And it's funny. Her name is, I'll share it, because it's what we've been talking about as well. Her name is, I'll share it, it's in the chat, Wholeheartedness Podcast. And there's a preacher guy that I listen to as well, who is very, very good. And his name is, so we've got a boy and a girl. Not Wise Disciple, not this one. It's two. I haven't listened to him today. Give me 1 second, and then we're gonna go. Man, come on. I was going to say Myron Gaines there, but no. He's in with it all. I can't see it on my history. I've probably gone through 4 or 5 of it. Here. Law of Liberty. That's the one. Law of Liberty. Right? Law of Liberty, or Wholeheartedness. Good people. Make sure it's the real bait. Make sure it's the real. That's what I did. I went to the King James version. I went on it when I did your one. I went on it with the King James version. So I'm not. You can't get me on that one. Tina says thanks to Danny, Unfiltered, and everyone in the chat. Good night. God bless. And I do have an end screen now. I do have an end screen. But yeah, let's do that one. Let's do a religious one, and we'll try and get in as people of authority. And I will say to them, you know, we are wild, so respect the chat, respect the comments, because that's what we do here. We like to have an open conversation, whether we're right, whether we're wrong. We had the conversation, and nobody can say we're wrong for doing it. They might try to, but we're not, because we've got to keep speaking. And that's the most important thing. The Egyptian Bible is the oldest Bible. Is it? I know there's one. I know there is one that is super old. Yes. Dead Sea Scrolls changes everything. That's it. Good night, people. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your time. And remember, go back to the beginning bit if you didn't watch it. Go back and see how they're trying to change the rules. And this is a great ending to it, because this is people trying to change the rules as well. Not us, but people changing the rules on religion as well. Good night, people. Thank you for watching. And it's just going to be an end screen. It's where you can find me on other platforms. Thank you. Play outro.